I'm pretty worried about this episode. Batman Begins is my favorite Batman movie, and we're doing a movies from memory episode on it. I hope we don't blow this, man.
I think we're going to do good. It's one of my most watched movies. When was the last time you saw Batman Begins?
At least a year ago, yeah.
Okay. Same for me. I think I watched it in 2022 maybe, but I mean, I've seen it probably 20 times. I know you've seen it 600 times.
Yeah, but it's,
so you better not mess up.
It's a background movie for me. Like, often I'll put it in the background. I don't always finish it when I watch it, but
He's already making excuses.
I am making excuses because it's going to be a tough one. It's over 2 hours, 2 hours, 20 minutes. Welcome back to Raiders of the Lost podcast. We are doing movies from memory with Batman Begins. We'll try our best to piece this movie completely from memory, scene by scene, line by line. Just kidding. Line by line would be ridiculous.
We could do a lot of quotes, though.
We could do plenty of quotes.
I mean, this is one of my most watched movies, one of my most listened to scores.
For sure.
The score is fantastic. And then a quoted movie in our household since we were teenagers. And I remember clearly seeing this in theaters, being like a huge Batman fan already, and then seeing this one, and I was like, what the fuck? This is insane.
Back
it's so
in
good.
2005.
Wow.
That makes you feel old. A crazy statistic I heard, or you told me the other day, was 2006 is just as far away from right now as 2040 is.
Further away.
No, it's the same.
No, we're in November, bro.
Well, I'm going by years, Anthony. I'm not going.
I'm saying,
not counting the fucking days.
I'm just saying it's
contextually,
November.
people are gonna be listening.
If it was June, yes, but this is posting at the end of November.
Well, actually, it's closer to 2041.
Get your facts straight. Fact check false.
Anthony just doesn't like to have any fun, everybody. That's what we learned already within 3 minutes of this episode. Anthony hates having fun.
I love fun. I just love busting your balls. I'm saying you're not accurate.
Well, also, people are going to be listening to this episode in like 2 years. They're just going to be like, oh, it was 2023 when they made this episode, Anthony.
They'll also be like, oh, it was November 2023.
Anyways,
so
Batman Begins,
what that first guy said was
directed by Christopher Nolan, written by Nolan as well as David. No, what's his name?
David S. Goyer.
David S. Goyer. I almost said David Gordon Green. David S. Goyer.
Thank God it wasn't David Gordon Green. Batman kills.
They made this back in 2005 after Batman Forever bombed at the box office in the late 90s, and Warner Brothers was trying to figure out a new reboot for the character in the franchise, and they stumbled upon Christopher Nolan.
It's great. He got the job because of Insomnia was a big success. Insomnia made $100 million, so they were like, okay, what do you want? And then they were looking to do Batman, so he pitched his version of Batman with Goyer, and then they were like, let's go, man.
And you all know how much we love Nolan's trilogy. He brought so much realism to the character and to the world, grounded Batman in reality. What if he existed in our world? And they're terrific films. We've done the trilogy before. We've never done solo episodes on them, though.
Never.
I would love to do that maybe in 2024.
Yes.
Which will be closer to 2041 than 2006, Anthony.
And now, like all of our other movies from memory episodes, we've done no notes, no prep, haven't looked into it.
I listened to the music a little bit today.
Okay. Well, it's not really a spoiler because the tracks are named after bats.
Yeah.
So it's all like different genesis of bats, and so you can't get any spoilers from track names.
But I do listen to that score like once every week.
Epictetus is like my favorite one.
Epictetus. Something like that.
That's the problem. Like, it was neat, but then like I can't remember the track name. So then when I'm like, "What's my favorite tracks?" I'm always like, "Wait, is it that one
that
or
starts
the other
with
one?"
EP. Molasses is great. Barbastella is great. Nope. Yeah, Barbastella.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not barbacoa tacos. Barbastella.
Barbastella is a good one.
Still sounds like a taco.
Molasses is great. Molasses. But that's the problem. Like other film scores, their tracks are named after either scenes or character moments or whatever, and you have a good memory of what the good ones are because the names are so easy to remember. But the Batman Begins soundtrack, it's like, wait, which ones are the good ones?
Only bat experts know. 7 people on the planet.
I love Hans, but that was a mistake on his part.
No, I think it's cool. But we might as well get into movies from memory. And again, if you've never listened to this kind of episode, we do it like once every month or so, and we've done The Matrix before. We did Fellowship of the Ring. We basically just go through the whole movie from memory, chronologically from the start of the film to the end.
And if you want to listen to this episode ad-free, we now have the ad-free experience on Patreon, so feel free to join the $5 tier or up to get access to all episodes of the show ad-free.
Patreon.com/Raiders of the Lost Podcast. Link in the description of this episode. Let's get in. Obviously, we have the opening of the Warner Brothers lot, as well as the Warner Brothers logo. Well, this is no, it's like this, Anthony. It's bat wings. See, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I listen to it a lot. So bat wings coming in. People are listening to this in their car, Anthony. You can't be screaming in the mic. Then we have obviously the orange hue and color scheme
Yes.
of the film is really great. And then we have the bats creating the logo. And there's an image of Batman, right? That the bats create?
It's just like the bat. I think it makes a bat symbol.
Yeah,
I
that's what it is, bat symbol.
Yes. So it starts with Warner Brothers, then Legendary, then Syncopy, and then the bat logo with the bats.
Mirror Image Productions. That's our production company.
And then the first scene we get is young Bruce Wayne running through his yard.
His massive yard.
Yeah, his garden, the East Garden.
With young Rachel Dawes, they're playing. Well, basically, he took this little arrowhead from. Or he's running with the arrowhead in his hand, right? Finders keepers.
Finders keepers, yes.
And he's hiding.
She's chasing him.
She's chasing him because he has the arrowhead and sort of like hide and seek tag. And then he stumbles and falls. He's on top of this old well. He falls through the well, and he falls down.
Yeah,
to
he hides
bottom
on
of the well.
Yeah, there's a wood panel above the opening of the well. He sits on that to hide from Rachel while she's like, Bruce, and then it collapses under him. Then we get the great slow-mo of him from within the cave, looking upwards of the body falling in slow motion with the wood above him. And then he does a reverse shot of him falling down, and then he lands in the bottom of the cave.
And Nolan bookended this in Dark Knight Rises with the tunnel.
Dashi, basara, basara. Dashi, basara,
And so Rachel goes to get help, and Bruce is there by himself, very scared of what's going to happen. He keeps hearing noises in this cave inside the tunnel. He looks to it, and bats come swarming and terrifying, and it's very scary. Then cut to Bruce Wayne, older, in jail, in some random prison.
He's so old.
In some random country.
80 years old Bruce Wayne.
He's probably like 23 with a fake beard, by the way. Fake beard.
Yeah, you can tell it's a fake beard because when Christian does beards now, he only can really grow the chin and mustache.
It still looks better.
Yeah, it looks better, but that's how you can tell this is fake because he never gets the cheek beard.
So he's got a pretty bad fake beard in this prison, but we don't know where this prison is. It could be anywhere, and it opens with just the moaning screams of somebody in this jail.
Yes.
And then basically we have Bruce. He's a prisoner in this place.
His roommate is like an old man in the cell.
They will, and then he says like they will beat you today or something like that because there's bullies at jail.
Bullies. I think they're a little worse than bullies. I think they're murderers.
They're really mean to Bruce. He's an outsider.
Yeah, he instigates it. I'm sure.
No, he just instigates it from being who he is, basically. So then he's in the lunch line, and then the big guy comes and messes with him.
Well, first he gets like the slop in his bowl.
Yeah. He's like, what's the big guy say to him?
Today, he's like,
I am the devil. But Bruce says something like, can't we do this after breakfast?
Yes.
And then the big guy... No, then he goes, no, your practice. And then he fights him.
He's like, I am the devil, and I'm gonna like beat the shit out of you, basically. In so many words. Something like that.
The devil. Doesn't he call him like a little man?
Yeah, he says little man.
And you are something.
And then he goes, no, I'm practice.
You're practice. And then they fight, and he goes tumbling down the hill. And then it's Bruce versus like 6 guys.
In the mud.
And beats the crap out of them all.
It's really great fight choreography.
Yeah, we get a hint at Bruce Wayne's fighting style in the trilogy. I can't remember the name of the martial arts that Chris Nolan based his fighting style off of with the stunt choreographers. But it's really effective, and the style basically is using every limb of your body as an offensive and defensive
weapon. I believe it's
weapon.
Krav Maga?
Something Krav Maga?
Yeah,
no,
Krav Maga.
No.
Something like that, in the same vein.
Not that. But basically, yeah, you're using all parts of your body offensively and defensively, using energy from blows coming at you to divert them, and using that energy to counter offensive attacks on you.
And he's very capable. Like, they break through that metal fence, and they're all like slipping and sliding into that mud. But then he's like beating the shit out of the other guys, and so the guards come over, and they grab Bruce. And he's like, what are you doing? He's like, for protection.
No, they say you're going like solitary.
Solitary, yeah.
For what? Solitary for what? Protection. I don't need protection.
Protection from them.
And then Bruce is in the hole.
It's great. This is great character building.
Exactly.
We're not explaining it. We're showing that this guy is capable, he's fierce, and he's brutal. So brutal that 6 of like the most ruthless men you can think of are getting destroyed by him, and he's being taken away from them for their protection. It's just great character building for understanding how physically daunting this guy is.
And then Bruce is in solitary confinement, and he does get a visitor, this guy in this really nice suit, and Bruce is talking to him. And this guy knows who Bruce is. He's like, the world is too small for someone like Bruce Wayne to disappear. And basically he's asking him, like, what are you doing here? And he's like, what does Bruce say? He says, he's training. Basically, that's what he's really doing there. He's training. He's trying to learn the criminal underworld.
Yeah, well, yeah. Roz understands what he's doing, but he knows that he's making he's mistaken in terms of his projection of what he's doing and how he's doing it.
Because what can Bruce do? What does Bruce want to do with his life? And Ra's al Ghul sees potential in him. Ra's al Ghul sees a man who needs to be put on a certain path to find success and can actually make a difference in the world. And obviously, we don't know yet, but he's going to eventually use Bruce as a pawn. That's his goal, is to use Bruce as a pawn to take down Gotham.
Yeah, and you can only understand, like, Ra's in the League of Shadows, like, how they traced him. It's really interesting. It's just so much is left kind of open-ended and unexplained in a great way. Like, we don't need to see Ra's. We don't need to understand, like, how Ra's tracked him down. The only thing that matters is that he's there.
It's fucking Ra's al Ghul.
It adds a mystery to the character. And then Liam Neeson is just phenomenal in this scene. It's great.
There were 7 of them. I counted 6, Mr. Wayne.
Counted 6.
The world's too small.
That's when he first reveals his name.
Yeah.
And he's like, how do you know?
For someone like Bruce Wayne to disappear.
Yeah.
And basically he offers him a choice. You can either stay here and be a criminal, basically, and just live in this prison for the rest of your life, or just go prison to prison, or you can become a legend, basically. Legend, Mr. Wayne.
A legend.
What you do is basically pick a rare flower grows at the summit of this mountain.
Yeah.
And pick that, climb the mountain, and you'll begin basically training.
And this is when he gets dropped off. He gets thrown on the road by that truck of probably prison guards, just dropped him off there. Then he begins his hike, and this is really something Nolan's always done in creating epic scope with his stories. These beautiful landscapes, these helicopter shots of the glaciers, the mountainsides. It's
Glaciers?
Just, yeah,
you
Bear
did
Grylls,
British
bro.
and mixed with American accent there.
That's what happens when you watch Me vs. Wild.
Glacier? No, he says glacier.
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 You're right, glacier.
Glacier or glacier?
I can say it however the fuck I want.
I'm just saying, you put them both together.
Glacier.
No, you
Glacier.
Say,
no, it's glacier is the American way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Glacier is American.
I understand.
Glacier.
Glacier.
British.
I like to mix it up.
Glacier.
Glacier.
So
I can see it sounds so ridiculous. Glacier.
It's so pretentious sounding. Like I have my own dialect.
That is basically America, though. And we get these incredible shots of the glaciers.
Same glacier from Interstellar.
Correctamundo.
Yeah, there's a volcanic eruption. That's why it's covered in gray ash in Interstellar.
Wow, you have so many great fun facts.
That's what people tell me.
Anyway, so he passes by like a village on the mountainside, so we understand that there's like people that live nearby.
And there's a storm coming. You go back. You go back.
Go back. I will tell him you saved his life.
Save it.
Okay. And then we see the temple in the distance, and like that's the way the camera shows it. It's like, oh, that's where he's going. And so he makes it to the temple entrance, and there's beautiful woodworked walls and door, and they built this entire set. Nolan obviously being very practical, but even for like having his first big budget project, still being like, I'm gonna do it the real way and build these sets for real, and it just makes all the difference.
And a couple of miniatures. I believe the one they blew up was a miniature.
Yeah.
But it still looks terrific. And he enters the temple. It's very spooky in there. It's
He's
hazy,
very tired.
And he's exhausted. And Ra's al Ghul greets him, and we see who he thinks is Ra's al Ghul, basically. Because obviously Liam Neeson's character, what's his name, Deckard? No,
Drukhard.
Drukhard? Something like that. That's his alias.
Henry Drukhard, I believe.
Yeah, this is alias until we find out it's Ra's al Ghul. Because they bring up Ra's al Ghul in the League of Shadows.
Yes.
And earlier, Bruce says a League of Vigilantes, and so he's kind of talking shit about the League of Shadows.
He's heard of them.
Exactly, because he's been traveling the world. We'll find out eventually. And so he sees Ra's al Ghul basically in that kind of temple chair, right? Or is he up in the rafters?
He's on the temple chair,
yeah.
Played by Ken Watanabe, and he's got this great mysterious quality to him, and then
he's got a great look like Pai Mei in Kill Bill,
like old kung fu movies.
Yeah, very cool.
I agree. And then the other followers of the League of Shadows show up, and then he's like, "Why have you come?"
I seek a means to end corruption,
injustice.
Seek a means to end injustice,
and to prey on those who to hurt, like
to basically turn the tables on criminals.
Yeah, prey on those who prey on the fearless.
Exactly. Basically, I want to fight crime.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Ducard, I think it's Ducard. Henry Ducard.
Henry Ducard. Thank you.
Ducard tests him physically with martial arts, And he asks Bruce, like, are you ready to begin your training?
I can barely stand.
That does not wait for you to stand.
So they have a great little fight.
But we get a great little more character development. We see that Bruce knows various styles of martial arts. So does Ducard. Ducard takes him down easily.
And he's naming each style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's basically showing Bruce that, like, you have training, but it's not good enough.
This is not a dance.
Tiger. And he also gives the blue flower.
Exactly. Yeah. The blue flower.
Which is an incredibly powerful thematic element of the film.
And so Ducard incapacitates him, and then Bruce is just lying back on the floor like, done. And then Ducard brings the flower over and puts it in his lapel and pats his little chest. Says, have a nice sleep, Bruce.
He says,
what do you fear?
What is it you do fear, Bruce?
You don't fear me. What is it you do fear? Yeah.
And then basically we go back and forth, cross-cutting of Bruce's adolescence to adulthood as well as his training. And so basically now we're cutting to young Bruce as a child.
Yes.
And we show his relationship with his mother and his father, specifically with his father traveling on the train to see that...
Did you build this train, Dad?
I did. The people of Gotham are good. The people of Gotham have been good to us, and we basically need to give something back because they've built their name from this city. And the train heads all the way to Wayne Tower. It's a great shot and beautiful music from James Newton Howard here, specifically doing the themes of Bruce.
Also, the actor they cast as Thomas Wayne looks so much like Christian Bale. It looks like his father. It definitely looks like it could be his father.
It's a really great casting.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of great relationship building here with his father. He's very close with him, and the little shots of him showing showing Bruce the pearls that he got his mother for her birthday.
Because the first cutback is bringing him up from the cave.
Right, and I'll set the bone myself.
Set the bone myself because he's a doctor, and then we meet Alfred for the first time, and then the pearl necklace that he shows his son. He's like, "Do you think your mom will like it?" Like, obviously.
And on the train, there's a great joke where, "Is that where you work, Dad?" And he's like, No. I work at the hospital. I leave the running of our company to much better men. Well,
better.
Much more
interested
men.
So,
Meaning he's not interested so much in the money or the stock of the company. He's more interested in helping people.
Exactly. They do a great job in just a matter of a minute of showing that Thomas Wayne is a good man. Very successful, but also a good, decent man.
Built a public transport system for the people of Gotham. It seems like a great guy, and you really feel the loss of this one person in this family of Thomas.
Yeah, Martha just gets like one line.
I said family. Thomas and Martha, tragic loss. You feel the loss of them in Gotham, obviously from 5-10 years later when the city's gone to shit.
And also the train, this is a setup for the climax of the film. How the train, all of the train lines lead into the center of the city, which is at Wayne Tower.
We also have the conversation of Bruce, how he's talking to his father that he's afraid of bats, and he asks his father, do monsters feel fear?
Oh, in bed, yeah.
And they're in bed. That's a weird way to put it.
Now I get why Bruce is so fucked up.
That's a weird way to put it, Anthony. And he's telling him
Bruce is in bed.
But no, this is a great character building moment for the creation of Batman, and why the writing is terrific in this film, because Goyer and Nolan, they tie Bruce's guilt, trauma, and his past to his fear, which gives him his powers, his strength, basically, to be Batman. It's all connected together, his fear, guilt, and trauma. And he's afraid of bats, obviously, and his father tells him that all creatures feel fear, especially the scary ones, showing him
the scary ones.
Especially the scary ones. So bats feel fear too, basically. And that's when Bruce decides later on I want my enemies to feel my dread, quoting a little further into the movie. That's why he creates the persona of Batman. But it's great writing.
Why bats must have won.
Connecting the guilt, because the guilt obviously is when they go to the show, the theatrical play, the opera, and Bruce gets scared because the actors
terrible decision by the parents. Like, let's go see a bat opera after your son was traumatized by bats.
It's a scary opera.
It's a pretty scary looking opera.
And Bruce is terrified. He's having dramatic flashbacks to being in the well with the bats surrounding him.
Also, his Vietnam flashbacks are going in. Just helicopters.
Where's my arm?
My God. So he gets scared. And then he goes, "Can we leave?"
No, don't be a bitch, bro.
Okay, we'll leave. And then Martha's like, "What the fuck? I want to see this opera."
No, it's me. It's me. A little bit of opera goes a long way.
Yeah.
Wink, Bruce. Oh my god. Oh fuck.
Oh man.
But this is the best. This is the best version of Martha and Bruce. I mean, Thomas's death. Joe Chill's out there waiting for them. Sees this wealthy couple leaving this play and robs them at gunpoint. And unfortunately, they both get killed.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Take what
you need.
It's fine.
It's fine. I said jewelry too. Shoots them both because they don't give him the pearl necklace right away.
Because Chill reaches for Martha and Thomas just instinctually goes to block him.
Yeah.
And then that causes him to fire.
Yeah, causes them to fire. Gun goes off, kills them both, gets away with the wallet. The pearls are all over the place. And young
Then he
Bruce
says, "Ever walk with the devil in the pale moonlight?" No.
This is an important emotional moment, Anthony. This is the death.
Ever dance to the devil in the pale moonlight?
If you're gonna do it, get it right. Anyways, and it's a sad shot of little Bruce with his parents are dead, and Thomas's dying words to him are, "Don't be afraid, Bruce. Don't be afraid." It's really sad. And then we're cutting back to training, right?
Yes, the training montage.
I believe we're on the glacier with the swords.
No, not yet. We're walking through. We're seeing like the interior of the temple and some training. Then Ra's al Ghul is both talking to Bruce and narrating as well.
Okay. And also talking about the guilt of, why didn't you avenge your parents or something like that. But also showing him like
not quite yet.
Some of the tactics of the League of Shadows, of theatricality.
Then we see the prisoner who's in the cage. And Bruce asks about him, and Ducard says he killed a neighbor of his for some food or something or money, and so they captured him and they're gonna execute him eventually.
And then
Bruce is training. He's doing the training on top of those poles.
Oh yeah, the wooden poles.
Yeah, the wooden poles, and then learning about ninjas, learning about the smokes, distraction, theatricality, deception. So he's learning the basics of it. And then I think it's when we cut to the sword fighting on the ice.
Yeah, and then so sword fighting on the ice, which I believe also then cross cuts to Bruce's adolescence coming back from Princeton.
Not yet. So we do the sword fight on the ice, and then it fucking looks awesome. It's great. It's beautiful. And then Bruce thinks he gets the upper hand on him. However, he sacrificed his footing for a killing stroke, and then Ra's taps the ice, and then Bruce falls through the ice into the freezing water, and then it cuts to the campfire.
Gotcha.
Don't rub your chest. Your arms and legs will take care of themselves.
Which is not even good advice.
Yeah. Chris Nolan actually said in an interview, like, I didn't even think that was real. I just thought it sounded nice.
It did sound good.
But it's completely inaccurate. You should do your arms and legs. Your chest will handle it. And so this is when they're talking about the death of his parents, and then he was filled with anger and rage, and then guilt, and then Ducard says, "Why didn't you avenge your parents?"
But also Ducard talks about how I wasn't always here in the mountains. I had a love once, my great wife. I had a wife once, my great love. Which obviously ties into Dark Knight Rises.
My great life. It was a pretty dope life.
Anyways. But also, I just love how Bruce Wayne's a ninja in this film. And training on the glacier is so cool with the swords, the sword fighting. And
we actually get the, what do you call it? The gauntlets on his arm.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So now we're cutting to young Bruce in his teenage years coming back from Princeton.
He's like 19.
Yeah, he's coming back, and he's at Wayne, he's at the Wayne home. Wayne Manor, and Alfred's there, and everything's covered with cloth because you can assume that they hardly have anyone there besides Alfred. He probably lives there all by himself.
Yeah.
He's just taking care of Wayne Manor and their interests for sure. And Bruce just comes back on holidays and stuff like that, it looks like, and he doesn't even want to stay in his parents' room, the parents' room, the master bedroom. And you can tell he's just very angsty. He's very upset.
He doesn't like university.
Feeling the trauma and guilt of the past on his sleeve. You know, he feels very guilty for the death of his parents, but he's also pushing away the family name. He doesn't want anything to do with the Waynes right now because it reminds him too much of what happened. It reminds him too much of the death of his parents being a Wayne. He says to Alfred, "If I had my way, I'd pull the damn thing down brick by brick." And Alfred's like, "This home has sheltered 5 generations of your family, and I care so much because..." "Why do you give a damn, Alfred? It's not your family." "I give a damn because
So a great man once made me responsible for the most precious thing in his life.
Haven't given up on me yet.
Never. And we learned that Bruce is only back for the trial of Joe Chill.
Yeah, Rachel shows up, and in the little butler's pantry kitchen area, Alfred still keeps.
How long has she been there?
Alfred still keeps the condensed milk on the top shelf, right? Yeah, is the condensed milk?
Yeah, it's still on the top. Yep. What do they say? They say like something cute.
Never stopped us before from trying.
Never kept us from trying. Yeah.
Old habits die hard.
Yeah.
What's there with condensed milk? Were they doing lines or something?
I don't know. It's not even that good, is it?
I mean,
I'm not sure if I've ever had condensed milk.
Sure you have.
Maybe a couple times.
Yeah.
I like the real thing. But we learned that, Rachel she's exceeding at college, and she's going to be an important figure in the city in the future.
Oh, she's already an assistant DA,
yeah, she's an assistant DA, yeah. So she's already doing very well for herself. And to contrast that, Bruce doesn't like university. He's even thinking of probably leaving soon. He doesn't fit in at school. And so nothing at all feels right about him. And then she's disappointed that he's only here for the trial, but they do go to the trial together. He thinks that there should be someone. She recommends him not going, but he says someone should stand up for my family there. So he thinks that he should be there.
And then we also get a shot of a revolver inside of his briefcase.
Yes.
Because now we realize he's going to plan to kill Joe Chill, and we have the.
Oh, sorry. By the way, it's amazing how changing someone's hair slightly can make them look so much different in age. Like, so this young Bruce, his hair is down over his forehead. It really does drop his age down a lot. He looks a lot younger, and then when he's training, because he's got it slicked back, and he looks like 10 years older. It's just the hair. That does a lot for an actor.
Same thing with Oppenheimer with Cillian Murphy when he's obviously at school in the first act of the film. He's supposed to be in his early 20s. The hairstyle makes Cillian look a lot younger. Obviously, Cillian's like 50, so you can only do so much with the makeup and the face, but he still look pretty young with the makeup. But the hair really helps sell that he's young.
Absolutely. Great point.
And so the trial, Joe Chill is on the stand, and basically Bruce is upset. They're on the way to the trial, and he's upset that Joe Chill is going to get off for being basically giving witness testimony and information on Carmine Falcone, and Bruce is upset about this.
Yeah, they shared a cell.
They shared a cell together. He told us things that will put him away, which Bruce is pissed about, and that's why he's trying to kill Joe Chill, because he doesn't want this man to go out free.
I'm going to kill Joe Chill.
And Bruce accepts it for now, and they go through the trial, and Joe Chill gives where you can feel like an empathetic apology. He regrets obviously everything he's done, but he doesn't feel like he deserves to be put on the streets. Basically, he says, not a day goes by that I don't regret what I did. And
he said nothing like really validated what his reasoning behind for the motivation of it.
Says, a lot of people are desperate back then, but that don't take away from what I did.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Joe Chill. I believe there's a member of the Wade family present. Would they if they got something to say?
Bruce just stands up and then leaves, and Joe Chill is so afraid to face what he assumes is young little Bruce Wayne. That's something you can assume that's who he knows who it is, that he doesn't even turn around. It's a great shot of Joe Chill's face, and it's good nonverbal acting.
I've just realized there's a trial scene, there's courtroom scenes in every Batman movie of Nolan's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we get this one, the Harvey Dent scenes in Dark Knight, and then Scarecrow's trials in Dark Knight Rises. And so this is where he's released, and then Chill is swarmed by the press outside the courtroom, and Bruce is watching from behind a pillar, nervous. He's got his gun in his hand. He's hiding it in his sleeve, and he's ready to do this. And then the crowd starts approaching him, so he steps away from the pillar, starts approaching the group with his eyes dead set on Joe Chill, ready to pull the trigger. He's about to reach him when a mob person approaches Joe, says, Hey, Joe, Falcone says hi. Shoots him right in the chest, and Joe Chill goes down for the count.
And she gets arrested. And Rachel tries to take Bruce away. You don't need to see this, Bruce. He's like, no, I do have to see this.
I need to savor it.
I need to lick his blood. And then Rachel and Bruce are on the way home. Rachel's upset because their star witness just got killed. And she's like, and everyone wonders why they made it public. Falcone wanted him out in the open and basically insinuating that the judge was corrupt and did this on purpose, was working with Falcone to get Joe Chill out in the open, making it a public trial. And then Rachel says basically, or Bruce says something about the city.
So,
and she gets upset and says,
he says the system is broken.
And she's like, you have no idea what the system's like. You have no idea what the city is like. And she takes him basically to the underpass, this underworld basically, of how bad things really are in Gotham. And everyone knows, oh no, because Bruce says I should be thanking him.
Yeah.
And she's pissed at Bruce, pissed at everything that happened, and parks in front of the club where Falcone is. And like, if you want to thank him, we all know where to find him. But as long as he keeps the good people scared and the bad people rich, everyone's afraid to cross him, basically.
And then Bruce says, I'm not one of your good people, Rachel.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? And then he pulls out the gun, and he's
good people like your father, like your parents, she says.
Exactly, yeah, that's it. And then he pulls out the gun and basically says he was prepared to kill Joe Chill. So then she slaps him twice. Your father would be ashamed of you.
Fuck out.
Get out!
So
Get out! Get the fuck out of the car! Put the money in the bag! Put your hands in the air!
We haven't done that in a while. Place Beyond the Pines.
Put the money in the bag! Put your hands in the air!
If I ever meet Ryan Gosling, I'm doing that.
I think he would like it.
Money in the bag!
I bet he would love it. So then she get the fuck out of my car. So Bruce gets out. She speeds away, and then Bruce looks at the bar. So then he enters the mob bar, and then he approaches Falcone, who's sitting at a booth. And first he gets searched by security. They find the revolver, and then
No gun.
Where does he get the gun then that he throws away?
No, he tosses it, I think.
Okay, so
Because then Falcone says that
Gotcha.
line, no gun, I'm disappointed.
that's what I'm saying. Okay,
I'm offended.
So first he throws the gun away.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the club. And then he's I'm insulted.
No gun.
And Tom Wilkinson does a great East Coast-ish mob accent for being a British actor. He's fantastic in this small role.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting conversation where Falcone's basically telling him, well, Bruce says, I'm not afraid.
I'm here to show you that not everybody in Gotham's afraid of you.
Well, you think you got nothing to lose, because your mommy and daddy, your dad, you think you got nothing to lose, but you haven't thought about your butler. You haven't thought about your friend at the DA. Bam! Bam!
You think because your mommy and daddy got shot, you've tasted the bad side of life?
You don't know desperate.
You couldn't go 1,000 miles to find somebody who doesn't know your name.
You're Bruce Wayne. You're the Prince of Gotham.
Yeah.
It's great dialogue.
You got spunk, kid. I'll give you that.
Joe, he told me, with the night he killed your parents, he told me your father begged like a dog for his life.
Like a dog. All right. So then they punch Bruce, throw him outside the club, and then Bruce approaches the homeless man nearby with near the barrel with near the trash can. Sorry, that's the East Coast.
Well, it's a metal barrel.
Okay, it's a metal barrel with a little fire in it.
It's a big fire, dude.
Yeah. Okay, it's a medium-sized fire. Medium to large fire. I'll agree with medium. Jesus Christ. Get it right, man. And then he gives him his coat.
He also puts his wallet.
How much? For what? Your jacket.
He gives the guy money, puts his wallet in the fire.
And then he gives him then they trade coats. This is a nice coat. They'll be looking. Careful who sees you in that. They'll be looking for me.
Who?
Everyone.
And then Bruce just runs to the ocean.
He dives in the water.
He dives in the water. And he swims to Thailand.
Cannonball!
No, he sees the ship approaching, so he decides to jump ship.
Yeah, he's like, oh man. He improvises and he gets on the ship.
And then we cut to some more training.
So he and Ducard are talking, and he's like, I changed my perceptions of right and wrong changed when I was living with nothing
as a criminal. The first time I stole was so I wouldn't starve to death.
Yes.
And that's when he steals fruit and gives them to the kid.
Yeah.
And then he also talks about how he enjoyed being a criminal at times. You feel the thrill of the job.
Yeah.
And then he gets arrested for stealing these boxes.
Right when he's dapping up his buddy.
Yeah, of Wayne Enterprises. And he also speaks, I'm assuming it's Mandarin that they're speaking in the film, in the sequence where the police say to him, you're a criminal, and Bruce is like, I'm not a criminal. Tell that to the guy you stole these from in their Bruce Enterprise boxes.
Tell that to the guy who owns these.
Yeah.
And then, Wayne Enterprises.
Dude, you have no idea that's Bruce Wayne! That's me, man. Imagine if he like gave up at his first arrest. Bro, I'm done. Like, it was me.
Take me to New York. Take me to Gotham.
And then basically we're finishing up his training until he's going through his basically sort of initiation of being entered into the League of Shadows, where he has to face his fear. And obviously this is where all of the ninjas, Ra's or Ducard right now, and Bruce are in their black armor with their, I guess it's like a cross between samurai armor and sort of like a knight, like ninja and a knight. It's really cool armor. And Bruce has to inhale the flower after it's been basically cooked to a point where it's steaming or
it's
smoking.
Ground up into a powder, and then it's cooked from underneath a flame.
So it's
above a flame.
So he has to hit a bowl.
Yes, he has to do a bong hit.
Bro, hit that shit, bro.
He has to fishbowl the temple.
Breathe.
And then we find out that this is a hallucinatory kind of chemical that's brewed from this.
Specifically shows you your fears. And he has to basically find Ducard in this group of the ninjas that are moving at different patterns, as well as first he has to open this chest, which reveals his greatest fear
It's
to
a
him.
Dementor.
No, that's a bogut. There's a bogut.
That's a bogut.
Excellent. Excellent, it's Thomas. Mr. Thomas. Dean Thomas.
Dean Thomas, yeah.
that there's a bogut.
Then Professor Snapes comes out.
That's one nasty Dementor. Oh, that's not a Dementor. That's a bogut. Anyways, this isn't a Harry Potter episode. So he opens the chest, and bats fly out, and basically Bruce is living his biggest fear right now, but he focuses, listens
He's acting like
to
a little bitch.
No, he focuses up, man.
After that, yeah.
He listens to Ducard's voice, and then he outsmarts Ducard where he's been sliced on the arm from the sword from Ducard.
Yes. Because he has to go through the assortment of men and try to find Ducard, but every few seconds they change formation, and then there was a moment where he got struck by Ducard, yeah. And Ducard's hiding within the men.
And so he copies and matches the wound on his
Just
arm.
look for the tallest guy.
He slices the arm of two other guys, which I'd be like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, they didn't even move. They didn't even flinch.
To make it seem like that's Bruce, and outsmarts Ducard, who goes in after, you must not leave a sign. You must not leave a trace. I haven't.
Oh, damn. Nice job, Bruce.
And then Ra's al Ghul, fake Ra's al Ghul at the top, is clapping. And basically it's his graduation ceremony, and for that he gets to execute a guy.
Yeah, they bring him up to the farmer who committed murder, and his final step into the initiation as a member of the League of Shadows is to execute this man right there on the spot with the sword. And Bruce says, I am no executioner. You must, for your own sake, Bruce. And then he says, my compassion is what sets me apart. But the League of Shadows is more extreme. They think that, there's only right and wrong. There's no in between. And to do what they believe is right, they have to carry out these kinds of means to justify it.
And we also get the goal of the League of Shadows is to go after Gotham. So basically Ra's al Ghul, faux Ra's al Ghul, starts to speak English to Bruce and is saying that you will lead these men to Gotham, and we will burn Gotham to the ground, basically.
As Gotham's favorite son.
Yeah, you will lead these troops, and it'll fall just like Rome or Constantinople before, basically insinuating that the League of Shadows have been around for thousands of years and destroy cities that are past decay, basically past saving.
And Bruce says Gotham's not past saving, is what he says. And then,
I will lead these men, but I will do it in my own way, basically.
But he says, I'm not an executioner. And so then they're like, dude, you gotta fucking do it.
Ducard's like, Bruce, but you must for your own sake.
So Bruce takes the sword and he positions himself to execute the guy. But then he goes to a brand.
What he says first, he says, I'm sorry, my friend.
Elbows. He throws the brand up into the rafters.
A sack of potatoes.
Sack of hay, I think.
What?
Sack of hay. And then he elbows Ducard in the face, just drops him. And then explosives start going off. And then the place is just erupting and explosives are being set off all over the place. And then a group of men.
No, he doesn't elbow Ducard because Ducard says, "What are you doing?" He says, "What's necessary?"
What's necessary?
Yeah. And then
he throws.
He starts getting attacked by the League of Shadows guys. Something happens to Ducard, gets like hit on the head by like a piece of wood.
Yeah, I think so.
He gets knocked unconscious because Bruce thinks he's his friend. And then he's in a fight basically against the League of Shadows as well as fake Ra's al Ghul.
Fake Ra's al Ghul is like, no, I got him. He's mine.
He's mine.
So then they fight on that bridge rafter. It's a great fight with Christian Bale and Watanabe. And then eventually Bruce gets a little lucky. where another explosive goes off, and then a huge plank of wood falls right on top of Ross, knocking him dead.
And then he carries Ducard out the door, and then an explosion happens. The entire building blows up, and they go flying forward. Ducard starts to slide down the cliff, and then Bruce slides down the slip and slide to go after him. Then we have the awesome scene where he catches him with one hand and uses the gauntlet on his arm to grip the ice. And then he does like the most badass curl of all time. He curls Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Then pulls him up. Whoa, Anthony.
Hey, that's what he does, man.
Anyways,
it's a great scene.
It is a great scene. And then he carries him down the hill to the village, and he drops him off with that older gentleman from earlier. I will tell him you saved his life. And then we have Bruce heading up a runway. There's a jet waiting for him.
Then Alfred steps out. He's like, very fashionable, Mr. Wayne. Apart from the mud.
Apart from the mud.
And so we get them talking on the private jet with the sunset in the distance.
It's great because Bruce, you can tell, is a changed man.
Oh, yeah.
He's a lot more calm. He's reserved. He seems insanely focused, and he has a goal, and he wants to save Gotham, basically. This is what he's telling Alfred. And obviously he's going to say that I need your help, essentially. And
it's going to take a little work bringing you back from the dead.
Yeah, we've had you declared dead.
You had me declared dead?
It was, what's the guy, the guy who's the CEO of...
Rutger Hauer's character.
Yeah,
what's his name?
He's one of the antagonists.
We'll just call him Rutger.
Yeah, we'll call him Rutger. He's like, Rutger had you declared dead. You've been gone 6 years. Good thing you left your control of everything to me.
It's a good thing you left everything to me.
Oh, no, he says it to Alfred. It's a good thing I left you in control of everything.
Yeah, good thing I left everything for you.
And if you want to take the rolls for a ride, just make sure to bring it back with a full tank of gas.
Feel free to borrow the rolls. Bring it back with a full tank.
All right.
And he's like lounging back, like he's just been living life. He's actually kind of pissed Bruce is back.
I know, probably. I wonder what Alfred's been up to.
He's throwing parties, man.
Probably. Like he's probably like eyes wide shut in that whole mansion every weekend. He's the guy in the red mask. What's the password?
All right, then Bruce comes back, and then this is where he discovers the Batcave, or does he go to the city first?
What do you mean goes best?
Does he go to the boardroom meeting first, or does he?
No, he does some recon first. He's back at the Wayne Manor.
Yes.
He's doing some recon on Rachel, spying on Rachel, in addition to like taking photos of her at the phone booth, remember? And then also doing stuff at recon at Wayne Manor. He's doing some research and everything, and then remember
he has so much recon.
He's just recon and remember
recon.
There's a bat in the corner of the room.
Oh yeah.
And Alfred's like,
because he's looking at the floor with stuff on the floor.
And Alfred says they nest somewhere on the grounds, Mr. Wayne.
Bats.
And then
they nestle somewhere in the grounds.
Nest, not nestle.
Nest.
Yeah, you said nestle.
Yes, I did say nestle.
They nest somewhere on the grounds.
Then Bruce is like,
bro, let's go find out.
He's like going to the underground in the caverns below the foundation. And
your great-great-grandfather participated in the underground railroads, transporting free slaves to the north, basically. And I suspect these caverns came in handy. And so they also discovered like a great area to set up like a cool desk, a couple chairs.
This great bocce place. But then Bruce goes and approaches like the waterfall area. Come on, Alfred. Fine here. Thank you very much, Mr. Wade. Thanks very much.
Then he puts his hand in the water, and we have the great theme coming up, which is awesome.
And then the bats show up, and then they swarm him, and he just stands up slowly with the lantern in his hand.
Oh, now what we got set up?
Yes.
Jim Gordon.
Oh, yeah.
So we have scenes now with Jim Gordon and how basically he's an honest cop. He's working.
Oh, we forgot him in the opening.
Yeah.
After the Waynes are killed.
Yeah.
He's the one who comforts Bruce in the precinct.
Puts
before
the coat over his shoulders.
Before the commissioner comes in, he's like, "We got him, son. We did it, man."
Yeah.
The kid's like, "My parents are dead. I don't give a fuck."
We got him, son.
And then Bruce, I almost called him Oldman. Gordon's like, "It's okay. It's okay." I gotta say, it's okay. This Gordon is not as even close to as good. He improved upon it in Dark Knight.
Yeah, I think so.
But Gordon's so much better.
His voice is a little different too,
Yeah.
and he's like a slow detective drawl in this one. And so Gordon is an honest cop. He's got a corrupt partner, and he even says that line, in a city this bad, who's there to rat to anyways? Because
Dude, you're way too ahead.
Nuh-uh.
This is right before the falafels, right?
Well, there's a couple scenes of Jim Gordon. We have to get him in there.
All right, yeah, get him in there, man. But I think the first scene. Hold on. So what's the first scene we see with Jim? Is it the office where Bruce sneaks in?
No.
I
think it's that scene.
Okay, all right.
What, you don't like falafel? No, the falafel scene's when Batman interrogates
That's what I'm saying.
him. No, this is before that.
This is before that.
This is way before that. So this is when it's just
like 8 years ago, man.
Yeah, man, dude, you're way ahead. I'm right on fucking
I'm
point.
just trying to figure it out, man.
Well, I was right,
all right,
man.
so this scene, they're in the car with Stinky.
McStinky.
No, Stinky from 7.
Yeah, Stinky from
Brad
7.
Pitt calls him Stinky.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically showing that Jim's an honest cop with corrupt partners and everywhere. And because the guy says to him, he goes and makes a deal. He's getting a cash deal. He's probably hustling someone around the corner for protection. And he says to Jim in the car, it makes the other guys nervous around the precinct that you don't take a piece of the action. It's always here whenever you want it, but you're making everybody nervous. And Jim says, there's like no honor in what you do. But also, he's like, but I'm no rat. Like, I would never rat on you. In a city this bad, who's there to rat to anyways?
Yeah, and then he's like, damn, that's fucked up.
That's pretty good. Good joke, bro.
And then I think we get Bruce spying on Rachel at the DA's office.
Yeah.
He's like on the phone booth spying on her.
Mm-hmm.
And then, is this when they're also working on, sorry. Now he goes to the boardroom, I believe.
Let's think.
Reveals that so Rachel's with the DA, and he's like, have you heard? He's back. Because before this is when he's at the boardroom. So this is what happens. So Bruce shows up to the secretary's office and then says, hey, I'm here. I'd like to see fucking, what's his name? And then she's like, yeah, and who is it? Who's speaking? And then he's like, Bruce Wayne. And she looks up at him like, what? And then the boardroom's going on. And then we learn this guy is trying to get Wayne Enterprises involved in arms and weaponry distribution.
And everyone's like, I don't think that's what Thomas Wayne would have wanted. It's time to stop thinking about what Thomas Wayne would have wanted.
Yeah,
that's
bro.
like 20
Just trying to make some money.
Dude's fucking dead, guy.
Quit.
6 feet fucking under, bro.
Boo
6 feet under.
Boo-hoo.
I sent him flowers. He's super dead.
And then phone call. He's trying to reach the secretary. He's like, Angela, where are you? And then he goes and he opens the door and he finds that Bruce is teaching her how to putt.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
And then he turns around and then
Bruce is like, I've been with the League of Shadows for too long.
What's up, Blaya? What's up, Blaya? It's me. I'm Bruce. I'm back. And he's like, Bruce. So then it cuts to them having a meeting. And then he's like, I'm so glad you're back. And then he reveals that the company's going public and there's really nothing we can do to change. It's all very technical. The gears are rolling. But all you need to know is that your future is fine. You're going to be making a boatload of money from this.
And then Bruce is like, well, I am interested in a job. Oh, really?
He's like, I'd like to get to know the company my parents built.
Oh, what were you thinking? R&D,
Applied Sciences.
Oh, yeah, Applied Sciences. Fox's department.
I'll let them know you're coming down.
Shut the fuck up, bro. I guess this is the Anthony podcast. And then is it him going to Fox? Is that the next scene?
Yeah, it's definitely the next scene.
Okay, so then he meets Lucius Fox, played by Morgan Freeman, who's one of my favorite parts of the trilogy, of Nolan's trilogy, is this character of Lucius Fox. It adds so much because it's always just Bruce and Alfred, but having another player
And then Alfred's
inside,
always just a butler Alfred in the past.
but we have another player that's involved not just with Bruce and Batman, but also with Wayne Enterprise. It's really great.
And Nolan being such a Bond fan, this is the cue.
Basically, oh yeah, it's a good point.
This is his cue, and it makes so much sense that he made Fox such a significant character in his films.
And Fox is so confused why he's down there. He's like, "What did he tell you when you came down here?"
What exactly did he tell you? Yeah,
he told me exactly what it was when he sent me down here. Dead end.
Yeah,
right.
He sent him, and then he sent him down there because he was asking too many questions.
Oh, I knew your father. You knew my father. Yeah, I helped him build his train. Basically, so it shows that Thomas and Lucius were good friends back in the day. And Lucius, because he riled up too much noise, has been sent down here basically to live by himself in this dungeon of tech.
Yeah.
But also Bruce
shows him a couple of things. Yeah.
Yeah, but Bruce is really interested, so he shows him a few things. He shows him the body armor, the Kevlar bodysuit that they made for the military as a prototype, but the military didn't think 100 grand was worth a soldier's life.
Yeah.
Basically taking a shot at the military-industrial complex, that saying they don't care about their members at all.
And then also the utility belt.
Utility belt, yeah. And that fabric that when you put a frequency to it gets static and hard.
No, not yet. That's after he jumps the building.
Okay, you're right.
So this is just a couple of things at first. And then he's like, all right, see you later, bro. I'm going to take this spelunking.
What are you interested in for spelunking? Spelunking? Yeah, cliff diving?
Run into a lot of gunfire
cave diving? Run into a lot of gunfire in these caves? Listen, Mr. Fox. Listen, Mr. Wayne. Basically saying, don't take me for a fool, but the way I see it, all this stuff is yours anyways.
Yeah.
But don't think of me as an idiot.
Yeah, don't think of me as an idiot. He's like, I won't ask you what you're using this for, but just don't think of me as an idiot. He's like, fair enough.
Okay, so then do we have Bruce at night with his prototype of wearing the Kevlar with the ski mask, basically going to talk to Gordon.
Yeah, he sneaks into Gordon's office, and when Gordon sits down, he puts the stapler to the back of his head. He's like, Gordon.
No, he says this, take off your pants.
Oh my god, I can't believe what he asks him, but he's like,
no, I know exactly what he asked him. He says, basically saying that you're one of the good cops here.
Yes.
What'll it take to take down Falcone? And Jim Gordon says, a DA brave enough to prosecute, basically, and then Bruce says Rachel Dawes.
Rachel Dawes.
And a judge and a DA that will prosecute.
Yeah.
Rachel Dawes.
And then he's like, are we a team? Or he's like,
no, and he says, you're just a man. No, now we're two.
now we're two.
And then he runs up and...
Well, how do I get in touch with you? He's like, wait for my call.
And then he takes the stapler away, and Jim thinks he's still there, and he turns around. He's gone. And he chases him up the fire escape up the side of the building to the roof. Freeze! And then Bruce jumps across the fucking building.
Lands on the other fire escape, drops down a couple of levels, and then barely catches on.
And the other cops get up there, and they're like, who is that? Just some nut.
And then it cuts to back in R&D. What'll it be today? This time it's cave diving. Do you have any lightweight fabrics?
I got just the thing. And then he shows him that cool fabric where normal cloth, but then you put a frequency to it and it becomes static.
Put a current through it, yeah.
Can you make this into different shapes and sizes?
Anything you want, like a bat.
And then he sees the fucking tumbler. He's like, what's that? Oh, the tumbler? You wouldn't be interested in the tumbler, Mr. Wayne.
It's cruising
It's basically, Lucius Fox is saying the origin of this machinery is that it was used to basically jump bridges in war. If an enemy sabotage a bridge, you could jump across the river with the thrusters, and basically this tumbler was a tank that could fly.
Yeah, and so Bruce is driving it. You take that, you throttle up, and then he...
Throttle up, and then he... And then there's the red button, but don't push the red button.
And then Bruce skids it to a halt, and he goes, what do you think? Does it come in black? Hey, I was going to say that. Don't say it if I'm going to say it.
No, listen. You did it for 3 lines in a row, I tried to say.
It's not fair.
I tried to talk for 3 lines in a row, and you copied everything I said. Wow. Anthony's acting really immature right now. Really immature.
Hey, I'm just busting your balls, man.
And
then we cut to, I think we might have skipped maybe the cowls not working, being too fragile.
Okay, yeah, because we have more sequences of the cowls in the ears.
Yes.
And
the headset in the ear.
Okay,
he puts the headset in one of the cowls.
And then also develop spray painting the suit.
At least you got spares. Just try to avoid falling on your head.
And then basically we're going to the full suit up, and so spray painting the suit as well, with the music coming in, and also creating the batarangs and throwing those. And then
oh my God, we're missing something.
What?
We haven't even done Scarecrow yet.
Rachel and Scarecrow.
That's her
this
scene.
Is way earlier.
That's her first big scene after the Knights.
Okay, that's it. So Rachel and Scarecrow.
Fucking A, man.
So Scarecrow's on the stand, and he gets one of Falcone's mobsters off, for pleading insanity.
Yes.
And then Rachel confronts him after the trial, basically saying that this person had no history of mental illness, but suddenly they are insane.
Yeah.
Can you explain that? And this is like the 7th one of Falcone's men that are being sent to your hospital on insanity.
Yeah, and then Scarecrow goes to the DA. You should like keep an eye on your employees if you're even able to ask that question to me, something like that.
Yeah. He's basically threatening the DA because obviously he's working with Falcone, and the DA is sort of cozying up to Falcone because even Rachel's like, "Oh, Steven, like what the fuck, bro? Listen, I'm just trying to protect you." You can understand that from a certain standpoint, but obviously that gets him killed later on, because we also have to set up the microwave emitter.
Microwave emitter.
Does that happen before Bruce fully suits up?
The microwave emitter happens after the main board meeting and then after a lot of this stuff, but it does happen around here, yeah. The microwave emitter,
Does it happen after? So Bruce's first mission as Batman is the drugs, obviously,
Yes.
which we'll get to, but does it happen after that?
I believe it happens after that. Not 100% sure.
Yes.
But
Okay, but we also have another scene with Scarecrow, this time with Falcone,
Yes.
where he's telling Falcone, like, you can't just keep having me get your mobsters out of prison because he's coming to town. He's not going to like how you're wasting...
Yeah, first up he says that there's this DA that's been bothering him, and he wants Falcone to take care of her. And then Falcone's like, oh, man, even in this town, that's pushing it.
No, he doesn't say it like that. He said, okay, yes, because...
That's why he goes to see him to get Rachel off his
because
back.
Rachel's a woman. Because
Yes.
like even in this town, that's like low.
Yeah.
But also they talk about the drugs, the 2 shipments coming in.
Yes.
I have a shipment coming in, and then that's when Scarecrow's like, he wouldn't want to hear that you're risking our deal with the drugs coming in just to get your mobsters out of a little prison
Jail time. Yeah.
And so basically, like, stop like making me do this for you.
Oh, he's coming?
He's coming. Oh, he's coming, and he's not going to be happy with what
Yeah.
he sees, basically. And this is we see the first time Falcone shows fear.
Yeah. And we don't even know who's coming.
Bro, I totally forgot about
I know,
Scarecrow.
man. How did we forget about Killian?
So glad we got him in, though. Okay. And we're about to have our first Batman reveal. But first, the best way you can support Raiders of the Lost podcast, we said it earlier, become a patron at patreon.com/Raiders of the Lost podcast. It's a subscription-based form of support. You get an ad-free experience of every episode. If you can link your Spotify, you can listen there as well for a minimum $5 tier. But we have $2, $5, $10, $25, and $100. Every single tier has incredible perks all the way from video messages, access to our Discord for watch parties and being part of all these great threads we have in our film community, custom episodes, private watch parties, all sorts of perks.
So
free
many
merch.
perks.
It's insane how much stuff there is. You can also leave those 5-star ratings on Spotify and Apple, which we love so much. It really helps us get seen by new people on these platforms. We're at like 2,400 on Spotify, almost 2,000 on Apple. Let's get those apples up to 2,000. That'd be great by the end of the year. You can also share us with your family and friends if they love movies, if they love Batman, if they love anything to do with cinema and TV. Share Raiders of Lost podcast with them. It is the very best way for a podcast to grow.
And of course, this episode is sponsored by our friends at movieposters.com, the #1 place to get your posters online today. Be sure to use our promo code at movieposters.com to get 10% off right now. They have a huge selection of pretty much every movie and TV show in their poster library. All sorts of sizes, framing, and they even got backlighting too. Now, the holiday season is coming up. Nothing makes a better gift for the movie lover in your life than a great movie poster. And if you want to get one for yourself, you deserve it. Get yourself a movie poster at movieposters.com. And be sure to use our promo code Raiders10 at movieposters.com to get 10% off your order. Your order. Right meow.
Right now.
Right meow.
Let's get back into Batman Begins because we're about to have our very first Batman reveal. And this happens, Bruce is spray painting the suit, the Kevlar. They've got the mask going.
Oh, yeah.
And also, he's testing the fabric out with the gloves that sends the electrical signal to it to stiffen them up. But then also carving the bat symbol, the Batarang, essentially, the mini ones. And Alfred asks him... Not yet. Hold on. Alfred asks him, why bats, Mr. Wayne?
Master Wayne.
Why bats?
Mr. Wayne.
Why bats, Master Wayne? Bats afraid of me, Alfred. time my enemies feel my dread.
Share my dread.
Share my dread. Then he throws.
Get the fucking line right.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Holy shit. Then he throws the batarang against the wall. Great shot of it sticking into the wood. Fucking A. Then dissolving into the harbor.
The harbor.
I'm trying to take this seriously, man. God damn it. Now we have the harbor scene, which is basically Batman's first mission as Batman.
Incorrect. You're getting ahead.
What's now?
Stinky Man scene. Falafel.
Oh, okay.
So the guy, the corrupt cop, the corrupt cop is, and this is after we learned that this guy's time with Falcone and is helping him. And so he gets falafel at the food stand, takes a little too much of the guy's money. He's like, hey, man, come on, I got kids to feed. What, they don't like falafel? So then he starts eating. He's approaching an alley, goes through an alleyway, probably a shortcut for where he's going. Then all of a sudden, he gets grabbed by the ankle and thrown up into the air all the way to the rooftop, and Batman's just sitting there. He's like, what's the first thing he says? Where were the other trucks going?
No, you're wrong.
Oh, I'm
you're
getting
wrong,
ahead.
man. I was
Yeah.
correct.
You're right.
I was
Shit,
correct.
You're right.
You're way ahead, man.
My bad.
It's the fucking harbor.
It's the harbor.
Everyone tell Anthony to chill. He's excited. He's very excited. We can all tell.
I love Batman.
Slow-
No, you're absolutely right.
Slow it down.
You got it. Take over, man.
Going back. So he throws the batarang off the wall. It sticks,
Yes.
obviously dissolves to the harbor. And we have a bunch of drugs, a bunch of guys putting shipments off trucks into cars and everything. And then we have Stinky Man shows up, and everyone's like, oh, shit, that guy's a cop, right?
Yeah.
Continue. He opens up one of the dolls, and he inspects it. He's like, what is this? It's a pretty funny joke. And then he gets him in the back of the limo because Falcone wanted him to come to make sure that there's a scene with him and Falcone earlier.
Yes. Yeah, I just mentioned earlier that we learned that he's working with him, yeah.
Seems fine out there.
Everything's fine out there.
Yeah. And
All
then
right.
they're like, all right, chill. And then
You want to play
obviously,
Sudoku or?
you want to make out?
Put the screen up.
And so, no, you go ahead. You know the scene we're talking about, right?
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it now. What makes the scene great is because, just like the characters and the criminals, Batman's kind of elusive to us as an audience at first, and we don't get a good look at him until the end of the scene. But it starts out with the guys walking around the what do you call those? The big containers.
Yeah. Other shipping
containers. And then one of them, they start hearing these sounds, and we got the great scary music from Hans and James Newton Howard. And then one of them gets taken away, and he fires off a couple of rounds, but Batman took him from the top. We didn't even see Batman, but this what's it called? The gun he has, the grapple gun.
Grappling gun.
Yeah, and then he just shoots him up. And then the other guy, one of the other criminals, like, is it going over there? He's like, what happened? Where is he? And we get this great, like, Batman's the monster to the criminals, which I still think we haven't really seen in the other Batman movies, really.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, okay. The opening when he's on the ceiling.
Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah, Batman vs. Superman. That's great. I love it. And then we get another guy gets taken away, and then we have the guy with the little machine gun. He fires in both directions. Where are you? Here. Ah! And then we cut to Falcone inside the car. They hear gunfire, so then Stinky Man gets out. He's like, I'll check it out. And then we cut to group of criminals. Batman descends upon them. Bunch of fighting. And again, Nolan still is doing a lot of quick cuts, very fast action, pans, tilts, whatever. We're not getting a good look at Batman, but we do see that he won the fight. All the men are incapacitated on the floor, on the ground, and then we just see Batman's feet with the cape behind them. And then we cut back to Falcone. Falcone's like scared to death. He doesn't know what's going on.
Stinky Man runs for it, too.
Stinky Man runs, yeah. And then all of a sudden, something breaks through.
But also, hold on, before the big fight
Uh-huh.
between Stinky Man and Falcone, they talk about the dolls, how some, like, rabbits go to the Narrows.
Yes.
And then the bunnies go to this, then the dogs go to this other area. And Stinky Man's like, why? What's the difference? He's like, don't trouble yourself with the business of scary people.
Ignorance is bliss, my friend.
All right, then go back.
And then, so then Batman breaks through the ceiling of the car, the roof of the car, grabs Falcone and lifts him up. What are you?
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
And then puts him on the giant spotlight, like
But
Jesus.
first, the homeless guy is there. Nice coat.
Nice coat, nice jacket. I forgot about that.
That's great. Nice coat.
And then the police come and they find Falcone chained up to a spotlight, and it's shining into the sky, and it kind of looks like a bat symbol.
Not bad. Not too shabby.
Not bad, and it's pretty cool. And then we have
Newspaper front page.
Yeah.
DA and Rachel.
And the commissioner's upset because he doesn't want a vigilante. He's like, I don't care who it is. It's a guardian angel, whatever.
He did deliver us one of the biggest crime lords in the city.
I don't care if it's something or guardian angel.
You do his voice perfect. Yeah, that's what he sounds like.
I want him off the streets now.
That's good.
He says like, I don't care if it's Jehovah's Witness or a guardian angel or something like that.
Yeah, something like
Get him off the streets.
He did deliver us. What? I can't.
He did deliver us.
What do we
All right.
got next?
So he takes down Falcone. Falcone gets arrested.
Okay.
Falcone with Scarecrow.
Right. And then, is it Bruce in the morning? Bruised up?
Yes.
And then Alfred wakes him up and he's like,
Bats are nocturnal.
even 2 o'clock, even for a billionaire, is pushing it must have weighed. Bats are nocturnal.
And basically, Alfred's also saying, like, you might want to keep up appearances. People are going to wonder what a billionaire does with all
What
this
does
time.
Bruce Wayne do?
What
with
does
his
a
time?
billionaire?
Yeah.
I don't know. Date models, movie stars, buy cars, buy expensive Ferraris.
Yeah.
And then Bruce does that thing where, like, he chugs that green juice, then falls sitting around doing push-ups, which comes into play later on.
Yeah. What is the point of all the push-ups if you can't even move a bloody log?
I hope you weren't a member of the fire brigade.
All right. What do we got? We got next.
Falcone and Scarecrow. So this is
Okay.
where Scarecrow is obviously his lawyer or doctor, you could say. He's having a visit, and Falcone is like, "Oh, doctor, I'm going insane. I can't take it anymore. Blah blah blah. Get me the hell out of here." Basically, And Scarecrow is basically like pissed off because Falcone's messing up. You know, he's messing up the drug shipments. He got busted. And he's like, have I ever shown you my mask? These crazies, they can't take it. They take one look at it and they go insane. And then he's like, when did the
nut job take over the nut house?
Yeah. That's the line. That's good.
He's like, what is this?
He takes out the mask. He's like, not very scared of you, but the loonies, they can't take it. And then he puts on the mask and hits the button on his briefcase, and the smoke disperses. And this is a little hint at what's going on. Obviously, we saw the same kind of thing earlier on. We don't see the POV of Falcone to see the same hallucinogenic effects that happened to Bruce when he was with the League of Shadows, but it's kind of insinuating, it's the same kind of, what would you call a compound that's being used to create this drug.
It just screams.
Fear-inducing drug. Then, yeah.
I love how the woman who works at the jail, she's like, doesn't think anything of it. She's like, he walked and he was fine, and then this doctor leaves. Now he's just screaming out of his mind.
No, her eyes are like boggled,
Yeah.
man. He walks up. He's not faking it. Not that
Not
one.
that
He's
one.
insane. Gonna need them transfer him. And she's like, holy fuck.
What the fuck? What'd you
I would
do
have been
there?
like, what'd you do to him? He's fine. He was talking shit earlier. All right, so that's out of the way.
Okay. Then we got Bruce. Okay, Bruce having dinner with the other elites in the hotel,
Okay.
the hotel restaurant, but he shows up in the Lambo.
Yes, but before that. Okay, no, you're right. Then I'm gonna say what's next after
So he
that.
shows up in the Lambo, and the valet's like, nice car. You should see my other one. Gets out with 2 models, and they go to have dinner with the other members of the board.
High society.
And then High Society's talking about the Batman, and then Bruce says, guy dresses up as a bat, clearly has issues.
You know, it always reminds me of American Psycho when they're all kind of having their lunch, and then Patrick says that like amazing line that he probably read in a magazine. We need to give food to the homeless and shelter those in need. We have to end war.
End
we have to do all this. What's his name? Is like
Patrick, you shouldn't have.
Patrick, that was beautiful. It's like the same thing.
Patrick. And then he tells the models to go swimming in the.
No, they just do it.
Yeah. I think he whispers to their ears to do it. He does whisper in their ears to do it.
Nah, they just do it.
No, I think he whispers in their ears.
No, they just do it.
No, he whispers in their ears to go swimming.
No, he doesn't.
No, we don't hear it, but it's just shot of him like whispering.
I
in
think
their
they're just asking, "Can we go swimming?" He's probably like, "Yeah, whatever."
All right.
He's
Either
probably like,
one of those.
He's probably like, "I don't care."
It's one of those. I'm gonna watch the scene after
I
this.
don't give a fuck.
I want to fit in. And then the restaurant manager approaches him. He says that the water fountain is not. It's not a swimming pool.
And
then,
the guests don't have proper swim attire.
Yeah. And then Bruce pulls out a check. He says, "I'm buying this hotel, making a few new rules about this swimming area." And then this is basically getting the attention of the people, the elites, who are just like, okay, this seems like normal behavior for a billionaire.
Yeah, he's just basically showing off like being a playboy billionaire. Yeah. He's just out of his mind, just like silly partying all the time. So it's actually a great cover. And then as he's leaving,
now he also seems like an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But he also, and then he leaves with the models around his arms. And I wonder if he follows through. Yeah.
He has to, man.
Yeah, he's got it, man.
The models talk, you know?
You gotta keep up appearances, Bruce. You gotta take one for the team, man. You gotta take both those models home. And
once they get together, these things talk.
Yeah, once they get together,
they gossip.
They gossip.
They love to
gossip. The last thing you want. The last thing we want is like a bunch of them coming outside the building. Anthony referenced Wolf of Wall Street. Donnie. This is why I love you. Think of shit like that, man.
Oh my god. He just died. Oh man. Then he bumps into Rachel on the way out. He's soaking wet. She's like, "Oh man, thought this guy was a good guy." And then they do a little chit chat.
She's like,
"How's
"What
the
are you
weather?"
doing?" Swimming.
Swimming, yeah. And then he says, it's not who I he says
No, Rachel says that.
Yeah, he says,
"I am more."
This isn't me, I am more. And she says, "It's not who you are underneath, it's what you do that defines you." Basically saying actions speak louder than words in a way. And then he just like is like awestruck. He's like, "Fuck." And then she walks away. She's like, "Enjoy the rest of your night," or something.
Yeah. And then so now
Okay.
what we gotta set up is the microwave emitter. I believe this is around here.
Yes.
And so this is where earlier in the movie, I think we missed the scene where. No, this is it. So a microwave emitter is gone missing from Gotham, and then we have
It was on the boat.
So now that Falcone has been prosecuted, right? And things are changing. The DA, Rachel's boyfriend at the time, basically, or insinuating that's her boyfriend, or just colleague, goes to Mr. Falcone's shipping container.
Yes.
What are we doing here?
With officials.
Yeah.
He wants to see what's
with
inside.
Cops, with two cops and another. With two cops. We don't want to know what's inside Mr. Falcone's container. And they're basically like, "Dude, don't make us open this because we're going to have to kill you." So he's like, there's some new rules happening around town. Because also Bruce, as Batman, after he gets Falcone, that same night he sees Rachel. He saves Rachel from the two guys on the subway.
Oh, yes.
And then
she's like, "Ah!"
shoots him with the taser, which just shocks him around. Imagine if it subdued him and she's like, "Oh shit, Bruce."
She got him in the face. Fuck, Rachel,
but
fuck!
Yeah, it's the same night. It's the same night as the Falcone. And what do they talk about? They basically say,
"Rattle in the cage.
Rattle in the cage.
They were sent to kill you. Why? Because you rattled the cage."
And then he links her up with Jim Gordon, saying like, Jim Gordon is someone you can trust.
Hit up my boy, Jim.
So Jim Gordon's someone you can trust. You can work together to bring down Falcone.
Yes. I think that we missed a scene where he goes to Falcone's house outside of the porch and says something to Gordon.
Say that again?
He goes to Gordon's house when Gordon's taking out the trash.
Oh, you said Falcone's porch.
Oh, did I say?
Yeah.
I meant Gordon's house outside of the porch when he's taking out the trash. And he says something.
What do you think?
Pasta night.
Taco Tuesday.
Domino's. I love Domino's. Got any extra?
And basically, so Jim's basically saying, like, you're making a lot of noise, making people nervous. And then Batman says to him, "What do you think?" He says, "I think you're trying to help."
I think you're trying to help. And then he turns back and Batman's gone. This is the second instance of Batman disappearing on people.
And so let's go back forward a little bit to the microwave emitter and the container. And so the microwave emitter was inside of that container. And then we cut to Wayne Enterprises, where one of the board assistants, you could say, or one of the board members, comes up to Rutger Hauer's character and tells him about the missing microwave emitter. And then we have a cross cut of the microwave emitter being stolen off the ship.
Yes.
Right? And then it's obviously been put inside that shipping container. But we also see it being used on that ship, which basically left that ship destroyed and also that piece of tech missing. And then Rutger Hauer's character goes down to Lucius Fox's department and asks him about the microwave emitter, but he gives him just basically the number, the order number, the product
1ME.
number. Yeah, 1ME. Oh, microwave emitter.
Yeah.
What happened? Did you lose one? I am ending, or I'm
closing down.
I'm archiving your department and firing you.
Firing you.
Didn't you get the memo? But he's also like, I want everything you have on this microwave emitter on my desk. And he fires Lucius Fox on the spot.
Exactly. Now, this is when Batman goes to the Narrows, right?
To do what?
To investigate the stuffed animals.
Stinky Man.
Stinky Man. So he goes. Stinky Man scene.
There we go. He's been waiting.
Falafel. All right, like I said earlier, he takes too much money from the falafel guy. Guy's like, come on, man.
I got kids to feed.
What, they don't like falafel? Goes into the alley. Gauntlet. Grapple gun. Shoots him up. Where are the drugs going?
Where are the other drugs going? Swear to me.
Swear to me. He says, I don't know. It's the docks and something. The Narrows. He says, they're going to the Narrows.
Do I look like a cop?
Do I look like a cop?
What happened there?
I'm losing my voice.
Do I look like a cop?
You should have practiced your Batman voice.
Swear to me.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Do I look like a cop?
And then once he learns about the Narrows, he drops... What's the guy's fucking name? I don't know. I can't remember. Drops him. He's approaching the pavement really quickly. Then it stops with his head right above the pavement. And then the grapple lets go of him. And then he drops onto the pavement. He's like,
It's a good
my
joke.
hip. It's funny. There's some good comedy in this movie.
Yeah, it's an old movie. He's always got some funny lines in there.
So now Batman's going to the Narrows.
Okay, so microwave emitter's good. We got Scarecrow stuff is done. What's happening next with Rachel? Is that what's next?
Rachel is investigating Crane's facility.
Oh, yes. So that's exactly right. She wants to go see Falcone, right?
Yes.
So she's at the building.
Yes.
At Crane's facility, and she's curious. She sees Falcone, and he's inside that chair, just like in a straitjacket, basically.
Screaming.
He's just muttering Scarecrow.
Yes.
Scarecrow. And then Crane shows up, and she's like, I'm curious, how did a man with no mental illness for 50 years suddenly go insane? And what is Scarecrow? And he's like basically saying that the mysteries of the mind are inexplicable, and I'm here to treat the mind. That's why I find it so fascinating. And Scarecrow, when someone kind of goes insane, they sort of latch on to a specific word or phrase. Here, Scarecrow.
They like, it's like the predator of their mind. I can't remember what he says. But he says it's like a villain.
Something cool.
Yeah.
And so then she says that she has a warrant getting signed, and it's going to be on its way here right now, and I want to see the rest of your facility. And he's like, are you sure about that, basically? All right, let's go down my secret elevator, and takes her down. This is where, does he shoot her with the toxin here on the elevator?
No. So he puts his key into the elevator and to put it down to the basement. So the elevator goes down to the basement level.
Oh, yeah.
Which is locked. Then the doors open, and he leads her into basically the industrial room where they're pouring the psychotropic chemical into the water supply, and he lets her see it, just like messing with her. And then she sees that, she's like, what the fuck? And so she runs out, she goes into the elevator.
He says that line, he's like, you should try some. Clear your mind.
Clear your head.
No, clear your mind.
Yeah, clear your mind. And then she runs into the elevator. It's locked. She can't get it to close or go up. And then he approaches her with the mask on and sprays her with the gas.
I thought that she made it in, closed the doors, then the doors open, then he sprays.
I'm pretty sure she couldn't even close the doors because it was locked. It's one of those.
Yeah, I think it's actually, she gets in, closes the doors, and the doors open up.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
It's a great, scare.
Scarecrow. But this is also happening when Batman...
No, you're right. So
no, I think the Batman Arrow scene is before this because he saves her at the last minute. Okay, I got it. So we're going ahead now. So because that happens, and then Bruce during his dinner party ends the party to go save.
No. Wait, that's the finale.
Yeah, that's the finale.
No,
okay.
we're good. We're good.
No, there's Batman in the Narrows when he
climbing the walls
encounters Crane. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
He gets injured. So
so
that's
you're right.
before
So
this.
this is when he's climbing the brick wall. We see Joffrey tosses him. The other kids, they'll never believe me.
They won't believe me.
Good, fuck you.
I wouldn't believe you, you fucking nerd.
So he tosses Joffrey like a gun. No, they're like binoculars.
No, it's a little holster.
Yeah, so
little case.
So Batman. Okay, you're right. So we did skip it. So
So he
Batman's
climbs into the
investigating,
apartment,
goes into
yeah.
the apartment. Whose apartment is it?
He found it through the he was listening in the neighborhood and he found discussions about the drugs.
Okay.
So that's why he goes to the specific apartment.
And then eventually, while he's doing some investigating, Scarecrow and some henchmen show up. He hides in the bathroom.
He does find a bear with the stuff in it.
Yeah. He finds the drugs. And then he takes out the two guys, but then Scarecrow comes up from behind him with the toxin, sprays him in the face. You want my professional opinion? You need to lighten up.
Yeah.
Toss him, but while he's speaking to him, he's tossing him with liquor and a match and a lighter, toss it on him. Batman gets lit on fire, jumps out into the rain, and calls Alfred.
Grapples up into the roof.
Grapples to the roof, calls Alfred.
Alfred.
And Alfred.
How did Alfred do this? I don't know.
Yeah, how did he get him from the roof? I'm sure Bruce fell down, but gets him in the back seat of the Bentley.
He's hallucinating.
Gets
He's
him
talking
back.
to himself.
And then Bruce wakes up after having hallucinogenic visions of, I think, his father and everything. And
Yeah, it's like a quick little flashy montage.
And Alfred's there with some Alka-Seltzer Plus and Lucius Fox.
Lucius says that he basically saved his life last night.
I synthesized the proteins and targeted the blah 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 blah
That's
blah blah blah.
mostly right. Yeah.
Am I supposed to understand any of that? I just wanted you to know how hard it was.
So, Lucius found a cure, an antidote for the toxin.
Like what Lee says, oh, you know how it is. You're at the club. Someone's passing around a
psychotropic hallucinogens. And then he says, he asks
Lucius,
how do they end it?
He asks him if he can make more.
Yes.
He said, "I can make like an antidote."
Yeah.
Right? I've developed an antidote. I can make like 2 more or something like that.
I can make 3 more.
Yeah, because he can only make so much of it.
And then Lucius goes to Alfred, says Alfred, and then Alfred goes Lucius, and then they leave. And then this is the doorbell rings. Rachel shows up with the birthday present. It's his birthday.
It's the arrowhead.
She has the arrowhead, and then he's like, "Oh, you're not staying for my birthday?"
My boss is missing, which means I better probably start looking at the bottom of the lake.
That means the Narrows.
Yeah.
So then she tells him she is going to Crane's facility, and that's what gets him to go after her.
Exactly, man.
Yes.
Exactly.
We're figuring it out.
Yeah, we are. We got this. So basically, say everything we said about
Rachel
Crane's
stuff, yeah.
in the elevator, and then so after Crane hits her with the toxin, they're like in the back of the facility, and the guys are asking her like, is she gonna make it? And he's like,
the mind can only take so much.
She's been given a lethal dose. The mind can only take so much.
Yeah.
And then they start hearing noises like the Batman.
Lights turn off.
Yeah.
The lights turn off and only the emergency lights remain on. And then everyone's like, "Oh, what was that?" He's like, "The Batman."
Do what you do whenever there's a power around. Call the police. You want the police here? Yeah, they can't stop us now.
Yeah,
we've already gone too far.
Yeah.
Is it true that he can fly?
We'll find out. And then yes, the Batman attacking the criminals. A couple of them he takes out, and then he drops to the floor and takes a bunch out. Crane tries to shoot him with a toxin, but Batman grabs his arm and actually sprays it on his face, giving
Taste of your own medicine, doctor.
Where are the drugs?
Who are you working for?
Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul's dead. Who are you working for? Dr. Crane can't come in right now. He's not in.
You can take a message
Yeah.
at the beep. Yeah, so he makes Crane go insane.
And he sees Batman as an actual monster.
Yes.
It's great.
All right, and then Batman, he finds Rachel, right? Or he grabs Rachel. They take Rachel to the top of the building.
Meanwhile, police and SWAT have swarmed the building.
Exactly. Then Batman finds her at the top of the stairs, and then SWAT starts to go in. And I love how Gordon is they're all like waiting to go in.
Yeah, outside.
And Gordon's like, "I'm going in now. If you go in, I'll go after you, sir." And then Gordon just goes in by himself.
Yeah, no one follows him.
No one follows
The
him in.
Batman's in there.
So they go up, and Batman sees that they're coming down the
Well,
stairs.
no, Gordon finds them at the top.
Okay, yeah.
And then he's like, "What happened to her?" And he's like, "She's been drugged by a psychotropic hallucinogen." And he basically, the plan is, meet me out back. I'm going to get out and take her out back, and I'll meet you there.
And he says, "We can take my car." And then Batman's like, "I brought mine."
I brought mine. That's later, though.
No,
When
that's
they're
here
out-
too.
That's outside of the building. Because first, so what happens is Gordon takes her, and then the SWAT start invading the building.
Okay.
But Batman taps the button on the sole of his shoe. He takes out that little chunk, and then it lights up red. And then
bats come flying
everywhere. Flying all over the place. So when SWAT swarm the building, they get attacked by bats, and then Batman's able to drop down the stairwell while Gordon's carrying Rachel. They meet outside the building in the alleyway, and then there's the line about the cars.
I brought mine.
Whose car are we taking? My car's over there. I brought mine.
I gotta get me one of those.
Yeah, and then we have the chase.
Oh man, this is one of the best scenes, man.
Yeah.
The chase sequence of Batman in the tumbler with Rachel being chased by police. He's jumping on rooftops.
I love the tumbler. It's my favorite Batmobile, the tumbler.
100%, man.
Yeah,
100%.
my favorite.
So practical and kind of realistic. And it's really, really cool. Lots of miniature work done on this sequence, and as well as public destruction of roads and buildings.
And it's just really great stunt work, great action sequences. And I just remember this being a highlight of the film for sure when I was a kid.
I love how Rachel's like half conscious, in and out, and Batman says to her, "Remain calm." And then he says, "You've been poisoned." And she's like, "Oh shit, what?
You're gonna die. Stay calm."
Because like after he says "remain calm," she's like, "Okay, I'll remain calm." You've been poisoned.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Rachel.
And Batman outsmarts the police and gets away from them, and eventually makes it to
the freeway chase. Yeah, it's great.
Freeway chase, then waterfall, shoots through off the waterfall ramp, through the water into his Batcave with her, takes her out of the Batmobile, and has one of the antidotes from Lucius Fox waiting for him, basically.
He glides down.
Yeah, it's actually cool. And then gives it to her, and she's falling asleep. And then before she falls asleep, he says, "Give this to Jim Gordon. It's the other antidote, right?"
Yeah. Or I think he left a note for her. And she finds it. Or maybe he says it. Yeah,
I think he says,
maybe
this is for Jim Gordon.
And then when she passes out, he takes his mask off.
Fuck, I need a drink.
Then he goes upstairs, tying his tie, and Alfred's pissed, and he turns on the news and sees the high-speed chase. What do you call this? It's a miracle nobody got hurt.
I call it good television.
Damn good television. And then Alfred's worried that he's taking it too far, and he's going to kill himself and hurt others.
And this is the same night Bruce's birthday party is going on right now.
Yeah, that's why he's tying his tie for the
Those
birthday.
guests, those are Bruce Wayne's guests, basically, because Bruce is like, Bruce is basically saying, tell them, no.
He says he doesn't care about his family, or about him. He just cares about. And then he's like, "It was Rachel, Alfred. She was poisoned. She's downstairs. I need you to take her home."
Yes, this is all. Yeah,
so before he left earlier in the day, Alfred was like, "What about your birthday party?" He's like, "Tell them that joke, you know."
And that's why Rachel came to give him the birthday present.
Exactly.
Okay, so Alfred takes Rachel to the back of the car, which is funny because people see him
the
doing
employees are like, "What the fuck?" He's like,
and then he takes her home, and then Bruce is throwing his party, but then who shows up? Ra's al Ghul. Another fake Ra's al Ghul is there because he gets introduced by some aristocrat socialite. You need to meet this person. Am I saying it right? Ra's al Ghul?
And then Bruce is like, "What?" He turns and
You're
he's
not
like,
Ra's al Ghul.
"You're not Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul is dead." And then Ducard shows up. Or what? Or he says like a great line.
Yeah, it's a really good line. I can't think of it. Or was he? I don't know.
Was he ever? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Funny, witty line.
It was me the whole time.
Basically.
Yeah.
Or basically hiding in the shadows, something like that.
And then
That's
Bruce is
what
like,
says.
"You're." Then Bruce says, "Roz." Like he's like pointing him out as Roz, understanding it.
He says something like, "We're just hiding in the shadows." That's what Bruce says to Roz, and basically showing
cheap
him.
parlor trick.
And then Ra's al Ghul is basically saying, "We're here to fulfill our plan," and then Bruce is pointing out all of the League of Shadows members hiding in disguise, and then Bruce, thinking quickly in order to get everyone in this party,
"You're welcome to explain the situation to them."
to save everyone, basically acts drunk and tells everyone to get out of his house like a drunken billionaire idiot, which is clever, and it works to get everyone out of their house. Like,
yeah,
get
you're
out
never
of here.
short of a few freeloaders.
Yeah. So it gets everyone out of Wayne Manor. Ducard's like, it's pointless, it's futile anyways. They'll all be dead soon, basically.
It was cool because when you realize that everybody in that room was in danger of getting killed by these people. It's cool.
And Ra's al Ghul says that line to him, "You left me for dead." Or yeah, so they start to destroy the mansion, start lighting fires.
Well, first they're walking down the hall, and Ducard's explaining more of what they're doing, and then Bruce is like, "I'm going to stop you," but then the guy jumps up from behind him. That's when he says, "If you want to kill someone, you simply walk up behind them and stab them in the heart." And that's when Bruce gets attacked from behind.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the ninjas shows up behind him.
And then they're burning down Wayne Manor, and Bruce is fighting them, but then obviously he gets knocked unconscious from the giant piece of wood from the ceiling that falls on top of him. And then Alfred shows up while everything's burning and knocks out the guy outside. Yeah. "I hope you were not a member of the Fire Brigade." Wakes Bruce up. "What is the use of all those push-ups if you can't even lift a bloody log?"
And then Bruce is like, "Fuck you," and then he pushes it up. and then he brings him over to the piano, does a couple of notes, opens the door, and they go down the shaft elevator.
Secret elevator. It's a really sad shot because Bruce looks up and sees through the hole the burning of Wayne Manor, and he says,
everything my
father built,
yeah.
everything my family built is ruined basically now. And then but then Alfred reminds him basically that you're like, it's just a bunch of bricks and stone, you know what I mean? You're
the Wayne family is more than a bunch of bricks and logs.
Yeah, something like that.
Haven't given up on me. Have you, Alfred?
Never. And Bruce gears up, man.
Let's go.
Gears up. And does Ducard tell him his plan to take the microwave emitter?
This is what they're talking about walking down the hallway right before Bruce and him start fighting real quick.
Basically, they're going to create fear and chaos throughout the entire city with the toxin.
Forgot to mention, before the pillar falls on Bruce, Ra's al Ghul says, "Never did learn to mind your surroundings." And then the wood falls on top of Bruce.
True.
Yeah,
okay.
We forgot that part.
Good point. So Bruce gears up. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, man.
Bruce gears up, and we see basically the League of Shadows infiltrating Gotham, infiltrating the water and power departments.
They turn on the microwave emitter.
On the train.
And that kid is nearby.
Yeah, on the train.
And then that kid, one of the guys just shoves him in the face.
Yeah, that's Rachel's there too.
there, yeah.
But their plan is they're going to put the microwave emitter on the train,
yes,
right, and run it through the whole city, and it will send
Gotham into madness.
But obviously, there's a loophole here that if you're like in a hot shower
or
boiling water, obviously you would have had the steam in the toxin in your system.
Everybody should be crazy by now.
Yeah, it's just, take it with a grain of salt.
It's a little hope.
It's a good plan though.
Yeah, it's a great plan.
And it starts to succeed. So they're sending the train all the way to the center of Wayne Tower, which is the center of the city when it comes to the water supply. And they've also shut down. The police have shut down the island basically and shut down the bridges that connect to the island part.
And then Bruce jumps the bridge. He finds Gordon inside the narrow neighborhood and gives Gordon the car.
In the vaccine. Or the antidote.
He gives him the tumbler.
No. Rachel gives Gordon the antidote and says, "This is from our mutual friend."
This is from our friend. And then a little bit after that, Bruce finds Gordon, gives him the tumbler, and then Bruce goes after Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, and that reminds me that he does tell Rachel to give this to Jim Gordon because then as soon as she wakes up, she grabs the antidote.
Yeah.
And it's a quick shot.
And we're getting Bruce. Bruce goes through, doesn't he throw like the grenades off the walls in the mental institution? Excuse me.
Yeah, he's going through Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum, yeah.
He's going through Arkham Asylum, going through the Narrows, and then he's being attacked, and there's just craziness happening all over the place because everyone's either going insane with fear or insane with madness.
So a lot of the gases have been released, and Crane's riding that horse, and Rachel sees
living
him.
His best life, to be honest.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He's having a blast.
And then Batman finds Ra's al Ghul and his men, and then he says, "I can take 2 of your pawns." And so Ra's al Ghul... Oh, okay. Batman, rooftop. Batman saves Rachel
and Joffrey.
And the kid. And then they're on top of a rooftop.
But doesn't she tase him in the face?
She tases him in the face, but then at another point, there's a guy with a knife approaching them.
Yeah. That's when
and then Batman saves them. And then Batman and Rachel on the roof. And he's going to fly to...
the train.
Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
And then she says, "You could die. What's your name? You could die." He says, "It's not who I am underneath. It's what I do that defines me."
Bruce?
And he jumps.
It's pretty awesome.
And he flies. And then
And
he's
he
flying
got-
overhead.
Yeah.
And people on the streets looking up at him, he looks like a demon monster. They're all terrified of him.
There's also a scene where he's got like a crowd surrounding him and he has to gauntlet up. Remember?
No, that's not yet. So he flies and he reaches Ra's al Ghul's people, Ra's al Ghul and his guys.
On
and
the train?
No, just outside.
Okay.
And Ra's goes, you took theatricality a little bit too far. And then he fights. He says, I can take 2 of your pawns. And then Ra's gives out two more guys to fight him. So it's 4-on-1 against Bruce. When Ra's gets into the train and takes off, Batman fights the 4 guys, takes them out, but then he gets swarmed by the crowd. They start all grabbing him, taking him over. The train's taking off. He grapples onto the train, and then it pulls him out.
You're right. And then he's swinging behind it.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. And then he enters the train and he fights a couple more of his pawns. And then it's him versus Ra's al Ghul, right?
Meanwhile, Gordon,
Can you drive stick? Yeah, that happens earlier.
and then Gordon approaches one of the main pillars of the subway bridge train tracks, and then he starts trying to shoot the tracks.
Yeah, so I forgot. So when Bruce jumps the bridge, jumps the river, he meets up with Gordon, gives him the car. Can you drive stick? And then it's fun sequence watching Gordon trying to figure out how to drive the tumbler.
And then he gets put inside like
He's like, oh my god, what's happening?
And then he shoots at the pillar and misses, and there's a guy nearby like, what the fuck, bro? Meanwhile, Batman's fighting the thugs, and then he gets to Ra's, and it's Ra's versus Batman on the train.
It's a good fight. And what is it? Ra's says you never did mind your surroundings or something like that. That line comes up again.
Not yet. Not quite yet. Bruce says it to him, but not yet. So they fight a bit, and then I see you haven't learned any new tricks. And then he goes, how about this?
Yeah.
And he cuts through the sword, because
Yeah.
Ra's has a sword fighting Batman.
And basically, he beats Ra's al Ghul, and then Ra's basically says, but you won't let me. Bruce says, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you.
Well, so first he incapacitates Ra's after he says, never did learn to mind your surroundings, and he incapacitates Ra's. And then he breaks. So there was a point in the fight where Bruce was at the front of the train, and he's fucking up the steering system and everything. And then Ra's thinks he was like trying to slow the train down, but he realizes, he set it so that it was going fast and wouldn't stop.
I thought Ra's fucked it up on purpose.
I think Batman did it.
No, because Batman would have just stopped it. Why would Batman want it to go faster?
I'm pretty sure Batman did that.
Why would he want to do that?
To drive it off the tracks.
He could just stop it.
He could.
No, it
But
makes
it's not that cool though.
No. Ra's does it when he pushes the gear forward. Remember, the train lunges forward, and everyone's like, "Oh shit!" That's what happens.
Maybe,
and then
yeah.
he bashes it so that Batman can't stop it.
Maybe.
Because
Yeah.
the Gordon thing is the backup plan.
Yeah,
Why would you
yeah.
want to blow up a
All
building?
right. Good point. All right.
So he can't stop the train.
No. Because I'm right. Because then Ra's says, "This is why you'll never learn." And he said he's got Batman on the ground. He's like, "This is why you could never like get past your fear, and this is why you'll never beat me, and that's why you'll never stop this train." And then Bruce goes, "Who said anything about stopping it?"
Oh yeah.
Because Batman, he did fuck it up.
Okay.
So that would just be going super fast and keep driving. And then Ra's is like, what? He turns back and he sees that the gears are all fucked up, the control station. And then he goes, you never did learn to mind your surroundings. Then he incapacitates Ra's al Ghul.
I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you.
So, and then
he blows up the back compartments
yeah.
so that no one gets killed.
So he blows up the back, giving Ra's a chance to escape. No,
because he doesn't want the people on the train to get killed.
there's no one on the train.
There are people on the train.
Oh, I thought he blew. Okay, so it's that, and
He
also
blows it so there's nothing. So the front compartment's the only part that's moving.
I figured he did it so that he could get out because
I think both. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point. So he doesn't kill the men on the other compartments.
Well, because remember there are people. Because remember
Yeah.
when the
Yes.
gears go forward.
Yeah.
Remember everyone falls backwards.
You're right,
from
and
the
it's
force,
really only the front compartment that falls off.
where
so,
the emitter is.
It's both of those things. You're right, and then he does break open a window with the batarang to give Ra's the opportunity to escape. But then he says the line, "I don't have to kill you. I mean, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you."
then flies away.
And then Gordon manages to finally shoot down the tracks, and then the tracks break down, and then Batman flies out, and then Ra's turns, and he sees the tracks up ahead falling down, and then he realizes he's about to die, so then he closes his eyes in preparation for it.
Meditation.
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting. Yeah, how he did that. I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess how would you go out? He's, facing.
He's a ninja.
He's probably not afraid of death.
He's accepted it.
He's not afraid of death.
He's like, okay, here we go.
He's probably like, did I fuck up?
And then the train slams to the ground and then crashes through the parking garage of the building.
Yeah.
Stops, and then the microwave emitter explodes.
Yes. Yeah.
We got it. We figured it out.
We did it, man.
Yeah. It was a little back and forth, but yeah, we got it done. And then Batman is like...
Does he see Jim after that, or no? That's later.
No, he just flies off the explosion.
Okay, so then we have like a cut to the newspaper of billionaire playboy drunkenly burns down mansion.
Yes.
Right? That's
Yes.
the front page headline.
Uh-huh.
And then as like, drunken birthday billionaire, whatever. And then it's Alfred and Bruce talking as there's people demoing the building and the destruction of Wayne Manor. And Alfred comes up with the idea of like, this might be a good time to take a look at the southeast corner. Right?
Oh, what is it? It's the fucking...
The northeast foundation.
The foundations.
The Southeast Foundation.
Southeast, yeah.
The Southeast Foundation, right? Yeah, we could probably do
It's
something
because
like
he says, Bruce says, we're going to build it just like it was, brick for brick. Exactly as it was.
He's like, we could put like a foosball machine down we could get like a cool tank, like a cool bath, an ice bath, because those are popular now.
Anyways, Rachel shows up, and now she knows he's Batman, and he's like, Rachel, he doesn't really know what to say, and he's like, I wanted to tell you, and she's like, what does she say?
So basically, what he's saying is, Batman is a mask, and then she says, no. This is your mask. Bruce Wayne is your mask. You are Batman. That's who you are.
And then she says, your parents would be very proud of you.
And then they kiss, right?
Yeah, they kiss.
They kiss, and then they hold hands as they walk along the destruction of Wayne Manor. Really sweet.
And that's when he and Alfred do that exchange, because they separate, and Rachel just like walks away. And then he talks to Alfred about that.
Exactly.
And then we get the Batman music.
And then we have Batman on the rooftop with Jim Gordon, who has created this little bat symbol for the sky, and talking about how things are in the city, how things are getting bad again. And there's another thug out there that you might want to look into, a bit of a theatrical, just like you, a taste for the theatricals like you, and leaves a card.
There's a calling card
here. I'll look into it.
I'll look into it.
Great little sneak nod to a potential sequel that they didn't know they were going to make, and it's just a Joker card.
And then the post-credit scene. I'm just kidding. Then Batman approaches the ledge, and then Gordon says, I never thanked you, and you'll never have to. And then Batman jumps off, flies across the city, and we get the great music. He flies past screen, cut to black.
Nice, man.
I love it. It's great.
Wow, we did a pretty good job.
That was good.
I'm trying to think of what we could have missed. What did we miss at all, if anything? I'm sure a couple things here and there.
I think we did a excellent job. It's tough, man.
It was fun.
Yeah. You think you know it, but then you're like, oh, fuck, you mixed those up.
You know what? Ironically, we nailed the nonlinear stuff, I think.
I think so, too.
I think we really nailed the nonlinear.
The first act we got, no problem.
Man, I love this movie. It's so good. All right, cool. I think we're good. I think that's Batman Begins. Movies from Memory. Thanks, everyone, for tuning into this super fun episode of one of our favorite Batman movies.
Hey, you did a great job, man.
You did a great job, too.
Thanks.
It was hysterical. Like, I'm exhausted from laughing so much.
These are always funny ones.
The first half hour, I just remember laughing the whole time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Become a patron today at patreon.com/Raiders of Lost Podcast. We'll put a link to that in the description of this episode. Share us with your family and friends. Leave those 5-star ratings on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Again, thank you for tuning in to Batman Begins, Movies from Memory on Raiders of the Lost Podcast.
See you next time. Where were the drugs going?
This episode was executive produced by our chosen one patrons, Cody Moen, Andrew Hagan, Benjamin Cook, Calvin Murphy Griggs, Darian, Tyler McFly, and Sal Koching. Our chosen one patrons are our biggest supporters. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching Raiders of the Lost podcast. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well, notifications for sure. Listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere you can listen to podcasts, and be sure to check out this other content we have on our YouTube channel.